You hear the lawnmower?
That's your neighbor's lawnmower?
Yeah. Almost every Wednesday. And I'm like, I gotta switch the days on when I do the podcast. Cause,
Yep.
All right, so here we go. You ready?
And do you want me to talk about that? How my drive over here with the Google Maps? Can you say good morning? Or is that going to go on the end of it?
I'll let you know.
That will be under the Florida Park Cars.
Yes.
You can cue me in when you're ready.
Here we go.
Well, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, what are Indigo children and the hunt for the BazarCall program, and also how to become a millionaire or a billionaire overnight, and will you marry me? No, I will not. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on DeaconLive. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing okay? We're out there, and we had that tropical storm come through, and I'll get into that here in a little bit. But over my far right-hand side, making a return event here at DeaconLive, we have Dan. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing great today. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah? Make sure you talk right up on that microphone. There you go.
Okay. It's a beautiful day.
Beautiful day. Anything new going on with Dan?
No, I'm just enjoying the new truck. And my wife got a new car. So
Your wife got a new car. What kind of car did she get?
she got a Nissan Rogue, used, 2013. It's red, and she loves it.
You like it?
Yep, she's been
No,
saving
why
up.
did she get a new car? Because she's like, well, if you're going to get a new car, I'm going to get a new car?
Well, we've been driving around in our old cars for so many years, 8-9 years she's been saving up for the car, and she went for a ride in the new truck and realized how nice it rode. She goes, that's it. It's time to buy a new car.
Okay. So is she enjoying it? She doing all right?
Yeah, she hasn't driven it too much, just from the dealer. That's about it.
Well, good. How far was the dealer? Like 4 miles away?
No, about 12 miles away.
Did you test drive this car?
We both did.
Did you?
And we came back and test drove it the second day, too.
Okay. So everything's good.
Yes, it's good.
And you paid full cash for it because you're a big money baller.
Oh, she's been saving up all her money. You know, she helps out with bills, and she's been stashing money aside, so no payments on it, which is nice.
Well, good. Yeah. Anytime you can get rid of payments, that's always a good thing. So I was talking about the tropical storm. Dan, did you get any rain the other day?
We just got rain, no wind or anything.
Now, for those of you who don't know, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. And we have 22 some odd acres here. We have horses, we have cattle, we have chickens and goats and bears and raccoons and all the stuff that makes a farm a farm. We have, our fields aren't doing very well. Dan was making fun of my corn. It was all limped over and stuff, but I don't know. We haven't had the time to go out there and take care of the corn. But, so what was the name of the tropical storm that came through? Do you remember?
I do not remember.
Well, it was tropical storm, whatever, the latest one, the letter C. You know, the Miami-Dade names all the storm. This is the letter C. So whatever that storm that came through and cut through Charlotte, and lots of wind and lots of rain. And we had tornado warnings and all the stuff that goes with a tropical storm. Up here, I mean, we are probably, how many miles inland are we? 150, 200 miles?
I'd say easily, yeah.
Yeah, inland from the coast. And it ripped up through here. Nothing happened. Not a tree branch fell. Nothing. But then the day after, we had just a light little rainstorm. The alarm goes off. I lean over to my wife. I'm like, I have to go outside and feed the horses. She's like, okay, I'll start breakfast. So I go outside and I feed the horses and I come back in. We're getting just ready to sit down to eat breakfast. And the power goes out and then on and then out and then on and then out and then on and then out. And then that was, it was off. It went off, I think, 8:15 in the morning. So we're sitting here. We're like, all right, so when do Duke Energy gives us a text. Power will be back on at 10:30. Then we get a text from Spectrum. The internet won't be back on till 1:15 in the afternoon. Okay, now for those of you who don't know, my wife works from home. I work from home doing the DeaconLive podcast and handle all my business. Everything's done online. Everything is done online, whether you're working from home or working outside of the, in a normal facility.
Yeah, we live at the base of the Wari Mountains, and it blocks a lot of the storms. They'll avoid us. We just got rain, no wind, no power outages.
Really? So the power went out. Then it came, and so they said the power went out. So I have a generator. So we started running plugs up from the generator to plug in the router. We knew the router wasn't going to come back on until 1:15, but still we plugged the router back in. We plugged the refrigerator in. Her computer desk, so at least she can have all her monitors. It's on a power strip, so that's easy to do. And then we have a deep freezer and a small walk-in cooler down here in the garage, in our 3-car garage and below the studio here. And so we ran that, and the power came back on probably around maybe 10:45. Boom. Duke was on point. They said 10:30 would come back on. 10:45, we were back in action. Lights came on. Fanfare, everything's good. You can hear and it's amazing how quiet your house is when the power goes off. You don't hear the humming and the little things that are in the house. And when the power came back on, not that we had like stereos on or anything like that, but like you know what a Roomba is, right?
Yep, the Roomba will go on. All the fans, your refrigerator, all the motors,
and our little Alexis, doodle-doodle-doo. Hello, Deacon. How are you? Welcome back.
Yeah, it's so noisy in my house, in my office. All the fans for my computers, keeping them cold.
Yeah, you don't realize how quiet it is when the power goes off. So I was taking a nap on the couch because I had nothing to do because, of course, no power. Power comes back on. I wake up. I'm like, oh, the power's back on. So then we're waiting for the internet to come back on. So 1:15, 1:30 is the goal. I'll give them 1:30, right? 1:30 is the goal. 1:30 comes and goes. Nothing. Now, when I say no internet, it would come on for 5 minutes. You'd watch your little icon at the bottom of the you can see our screens here.
On the taskbar.
On the taskbar. And for those of you, for every podcast that we do, we have a matching video as well. And you can see that by going to prophetradio.com and click on the DeaconLive section, and you can see. But down here at the very bottom of the screen here, a little taskbar, I've got a little icon that says I've got 4 bars there. And that would go away, and then have the little earth with the little cross sign through it saying, no, you don't have internet. So I was working all day long till 10:30 at night in 5-minute increments every 20 minutes. So the internet would come on for 5 minutes, and I had to quickly download everything. And then the power would go on, or the internet would go out, and shit, you'd sit back, wait.
And you tried rebooting the router?
That's just, don't get my wife started on that.
Okay.
Because she goes, every time she would call Spectrum and they get an update. Well, have you rebooted the route? Yes. Well, I can't continue this conversation unless I physically see your router is rebooted. I guess they've got a screen or something on their end where they can see the router come offline and then go back online.
Oh, I've never dealt with that, but I can understand it.
Okay. So, and then Amy would do it and nothing. Nope. Oh, it shows that you have an outage in your area. Well, she's like, no shit. That's why I'm calling you. Well, we need your verification ID number, and we need this, and we need that. So every 3 hours. So if they said at 1:30 the internet was supposed to be back on, they said, oh, it'll be back on by 3:30. So 3:30 would come and go. Amy be on the phone again, calling them again. No, it'll be on 5:30. All right, 5:30. 5:30 comes and goes. No, it'll be 8:30. 8:30 comes and goes. Now, meanwhile, I'm sitting here doing all the stuff for the show. A lot of the stuff I can do offline, but a lot of the stuff, internet stuff, can I say stuff again?
You could say stuff.
All the internet stuff that I'm trying to get done and trying to get uploaded and trying to reach out to people with emails and everything, I'm having to do it through my phone. And I'm sitting here in the studio and I'm tapping on the phone and trying to get everything, this and that and trying to get things going. And then I have to stop because I get to a certain point and I can't get documents off my computer anyway. So it was just a horrible day yesterday, Dan.
Yeah. And Amy does a lot of conference calls. She could still be on the conference calls?
She could be on the conference calls because she would go, they use an internet line for the phone calls, but yet she still has her work phone that she can physically dial into the conference call and the passcode or whatever the passcode is, sign in for passcode. What's the passcode? 11234 or whatever the passcode is.
Okay, but she can do that, but she can't really look up any if they have questions she has to answer, she can't resource those things.
Well, she would sit there and get an email. Well, when it would come back online, all of a sudden, because I was playing video games offline during this sometime, and she would get. I'd have my headphones off for a little bit, and I can hear ding, ding, ding. She's like, "Oh, internet's back on," and she quickly have to type to try to answer emails or to at least save the email to where she can. But she couldn't pull reports. She couldn't do all that stuff. So yesterday, I didn't realize how much we rely on the internet. And here's the even funniest part, Dan. You ready for this? So we're off the grid. We're off cable. We don't have the dish TV. We don't have. We have an antenna out there, a digital antenna, but there's nothing fun on digital TV out there. We have Hulu, we have Netflix, and all that. And I go, well, let's watch. Oh, we can watch a new episode of whatever. And she goes, oh yeah, we can't. Oh no, we can't. You know why?
No internet.
The internet is not on. And I was like, all right, well, I guess we're playing whatever Candy Crush or whatever on our phones using our data plan. Have you ever run anything like that where you realize or don't realize how much you rely on the internet?
Oh, I realize how much we rely on it, and if mine is out, I'll go take a nap. If it's still not on, I said, let's go to a restaurant. Let's go bother somebody else.
Yeah, but what if you're gone for like 2 hours and you've got a report that's doing an hour and a half? You can't do that.
No, you can't. And that's one of the pitfalls when you're working from home.
All right. When we come back, we'll dive into the show. And it's great to have Dan here in the studio again, and we'll work on him and make sure that he becomes somewhat of a permanent establishment here on Deacon Live. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
Heaven forbid you talk to each other.
Yeah. Hear that?
My headphones are close.
Yeah, you really have to be careful with the headphones near that microphone. So I always put them up behind my head a little bit. That way it's away from your, so you can hear me and still, whatever.
How come it says 00?
Dan, don't say stuff like that to me.
Okay.
I had to bring the cursor back over.
Okay.
And project a little bit if you can.
A little louder?
Yeah, just talk. Yeah, don't talk like you're on the phone. Just talk a little bit louder. That's it. Because I was trying to mess with your volume, and I go, if I turn this up anymore, your headphones are going to feedback it a lot more. Just give it.
No, constructive criticism is good. Say another fucking thing. No.
All right, we'll talk about your update on the Slushie, and then we'll talk about the BazarCall. Ready?
I'm ready.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. If you want to be heard, and you can be heard at any time by going to prophetradio.com. And what does that mean? That means you can leave a voice message, comes right here to our inbox, and you can discuss anything that we've talked about here on this podcast or any of the past podcasts that we've done here on Deacon Live. Just click on the little Be Heard section and open up a little microphone on your tablet, on your PC, on your mobile device, wherever you're listening to us from, and that's going to prophetradio.com and click on Be Heard. And speaking of being heard, over to my far right-hand side, who wants to be heard is Dan. Dan, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's a wonderful day today.
Yeah, it's a wonderful. Why is it a wonderful day?
Because I'm glad to be here. And
Well-
I drove here in my new truck.
And how'd that go?
Oh, it was beautiful. Nice ride. Nice country ride. I used the Google Maps for the first time, and we do have some construction near our house. I want to avoid the construction so I didn't get dust on my truck.
Now,
and
hold on.
have-
You used Google Maps. Now, my truck didn't have Google Maps in it. So how did you use it on your phone? What did you do?
When the new stereo that I put in, It has Google Maps.
You didn't like the stereo I had in there?
I wanted
That's a
backup
$48,000 stereo system in there.
I realize that. I wanted a stereo, I wanted the navigation, and I wanted to have the backup camera. And the stereo, it has Android Play or iPhone Play, and you use the Google Maps. It shows up on the screen, on a 6-inch diagonal screen. And I used the Google Maps, and I selected to avoid construction. It took me a roundabout way. I took a left turn at Bubba's house, took a right turn where Daryl's trailer used to be, took a left turn here.
He owes me money, by the way.
And I drove by $3 Generals out in the middle of nowhere. You go past the dumpster, you go to where the horse was standing in the field and take a left. I take more lefts than rights. I'm sure if we look, this is probably a route that the bootleggers ran in the 1930s.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but it was a beautiful country ride.
We picked out a house for that location. Yeah. Now, when you were out and stuff with your, I said it, there's one, Dan. So this past weekend, you had the truck, so you guys went out, your wife, Kathy, and you, she's got a new car, you've got a new to you, new to her type vehicle. You go out and treat yourself. Hey, you know what? We're big ballers now. We can go out and have lunch anywhere we want.
We went down to Dollar General and we got 2 packages of the snack Oreo cookies. Kathy wanted to drive the truck.
Okay.
And I'm a nervous wreck. Watch out! Go to the left. Oh, I'm not saying.
Oh, while
anything.
She's driving it.
Yeah, she wanted to. She got her new car. She drove home. It's a used car, 2013 Rogue.
Now you said you went to McDonald's or something, and you. After the show last week, actually, you said you went and stopped and got a coffee on the way home. And last week's podcast, we had a discussion about they were fighting over a Slushie or something like that. And you stopped at a McDonald's on the way home. What was your experience? Did you ask them behind the counter if they had any issue? Did you order a triple?
No, I didn't order anything, but Kathy said, she goes, I'd really like to get a large drink at McDonald's. I said, and there was a big line. I said, I want to go inside. And while I'm inside, I said, I'm going to have to ask her a question. And I said, is it possible that you can get a Slushie with 3 different flavors in it? And she goes, not a problem at all. You just press a little bit of one flavor, and she named off the 3 flavors. She goes, we do it often. It's not a problem at all.
So the lady who was pitching a fit last week literally was just pitching a fit to hear herself scream.
Well, no, the woman was right, because they refused her on something that they can do. It's the girl that I talked to at McDonald's said we can make a Slushie with 3 different flavors.
But the woman had no. That's not a fighting principle.
Oh no, but I think the lady was a little off kilter and ready to be set off, but she was correct as far as they could make it for her.
And if you want to see that video, we have it posted up on the Prophet Radio website. Go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on DeaconLive, and you'll see that video. It's posted on the shared on section. So I know it's a lot of stuff I'm throwing at you. Now, speaking of throwing stuff at you, Dan, your background. You have an IT background.
Yes.
And so you've actually set up some stuff here in the studios. You help me do a lot of things that I have no idea. I can click the buttons, I can run a show, but as far as putting slot A in a tab B, I have no idea what I'm doing up here, and I rely on you a lot with that. And you have a lot of customers. This is your business that you do.
Yes, it's my side business. I fix a lot of people. It's word of mouth. I don't advertise. We live in a gated community. I have so many customers that I have, and I have customers that call me up for viruses, setting up things, new computers, the run-of-the-mill, all different types of things.
Microsoft warns now attackers are using a call center to trick you into downloading ransomware. Microsoft cybersecurity researchers are now on the hunt for BazarCall, BazarCall, criminal group that are using call centers to infect PCs with malware called Bazar Loader, BAZAR Loader, a malware loader that has been used to distribute ransomware. Now, BazarCall or BazarCall, depending on what side of the country you're from, actors have been active since January, were notable because they were used in call center operations to guide victims to installing this BazarCall, and I say bizarre, not like crazy bizarre, but like a sales place, like a
BAZAR loader,
right,
is the actual program, and most of these places that have hackers and stuff use different spelling of the same word to
Right.
identify themselves.
It's like off by one tab or something like that. Cybersecurity certifications can help you get your foot in the door into a fast becoming industry, which is in high demand for skilled staff. And here's how to get started. So, Palo Alto Networks, Brad Duncan, recently detailed the group's techniques on Blogspot, a thing, and describes malwares provide a backdoor access to infected Windows devices. So after the client is infected, criminals use the backdoor to send them follow-up malware. So what's happening is they're sending an email out saying your subscription has expired, whether it's a magazine, whether it's Netflix, whether it's whatever you have. And if you don't click now, or it might be something you might be interested in, like you might have searched something online, like a Bass Pro Shop or something like that, and then your subscription's going to expire unless you click in and sign up. We're going to renew automatically unless you unsubscribe. So that's what they're seeing is that, I don't want to I don't need a Bass Pro Shop membership. Cancel, and you have to fill out all information. And once you do that, then it opens up the back door, and then these little bugs and stuff crawl into your system. And then, have you had any problems with people clicking on and getting backdoor?
I haven't had any
backdoor issues.
I haven't had any problem with anybody getting malware downloaded. I've had 6 or 7 customers that are elderly that had calls and told them there was a problem with their computer, and for $350 they fixed all these different problems with their computers. And sometimes the computer wasn't even worth that much money. And I tell them now, anything, even suspicious, call me. Just call me. I can tell you right away whether it's hoax or not.
How are they fixing it over the phone, though? Are they saying sit down at your computer, or they're just saying give me your credit card and we'll fix it for you? You have to have some kind of like team view or some kind of remote access.
Yes, they use TeamViewer or Log Me In, or they use a certain program that they can use. They'll get on the computer and they'll move things around, and it's all smoke and mirrors.
Will they really get on the computer?
Yeah,
if they called me and said, all right, Deacon, we need your credit card number, we'll fix all your computer. And I go, okay, here's my credit card number, and then they'll send me a link, and then I click on that link, and can I see their cursor moving around?
You can see the cursor
moving around. So there's
around.
actually a guy on the other end moving this stuff around.
He's moving things around, and it's all a show, because they'll move things around, they'll do this, they'll run something, and they'll run regular programs that you run anyway, and you think that, okay,
like
they're
Task
fixing
Manager
it.
or something?
Yes, and they'll run these different programs that people aren't used to seeing. They'll go through the whole computer, and every one that I've run different virus scans, and they haven't done anything to the person's computer. They sent them a warning that something was seriously wrong. Then they went and moved boxes around and ran programs, and then say, okay, good thing you called us. We got it all fixed. Thank you for giving us $350.
And then they're gone. You can't get a hold of them, and they've got your money. I had a good friend of mine, one of my best friend. He unfortunately passed away, but he would tell me stories. You ever heard of like ductwork cleaning? Where they clear you? And he said he would go into people's houses. It wasn't a scam. He just didn't do his job. And he would run the vacuum, the shop vac, and you can't come in here because there's dust. And he'd shut the door and he'd sit there and just kind of with the vacuum. All right, this room's done. And he'd go on the next room and charge him, $1,000-something. But I mean, that's another scam too. Ductwork cleaning and this at the same time.
Yes, and every computer that a person's had and called and got scammed on, I've ran rootkits, start up there. I cannot find any kind of virus whatsoever on it. So they're just stealing their money. They're not messing up their computer.
Well, some people are dumb.
Yes.
Some people are, I don't want to say they're dumb, they're naive. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about some people that are very, very smart, smarter than you and I. Even before the age of 7, they're smarter than us. Believe me. I know that's hard to believe, but stick around. You're listening to DeaconLive right here on Proper Radio. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I think one friend of mine's got twice. He's got victim for it and paid, and he'll call people. Now I tell him, Dennis, call me if you have anything. And he got some email that said, Microsoft wants you to do this. And I said, look at the email. And I went over his house and looked at it, and it said it has all these strange. It didn't say from Microsoft.com. It said from all these characters and strange numbers. Anyone looking at it would say that's not a legitimate email address or anything.
if you're not going to say anything, stay away from the microphone.
Oh.
Because you have a habit of
Okay.
whether you're clicking or something. Yeah, and I can hear that. Now I can hear it. I don't know if they're going to hear it, but yeah, unless you're going to say something, just a mental note.
Okay.
And nothing against you, Dan.
No,
Just
no. This is what I want. My wife says that. She goes, "You're making that noise again."
yeah, you just have to because it's a sensitive microphone. You really have to be careful on.
I don't want to hurt your feelings.
No, you're not hurting my feelings.
I'm talking to the microphone. You said it was sensitive.
All right, where's the Indigo children? All right. Please tell me it's still doing that. Oh. I hate that when I find a link.
I thought everything was there would be there forever, though.
No, sometimes they'll pull it down.
Could you just do a search for Indigo Children?
Yeah, there's sometimes Facebook will pull the article down after I've already.
DIGO.
Well, it was a story. It was a story about this guy who was from Mars. He was from Mars. God damn it.
He was from Mars?
He was sent here from Mars,
Oh.
yes. And that was the cool part of the story. Let me go back. Yeah, see, it's been on mine. I don't, anyways.
Why don't you go Indigo Children Facebook and maybe it'll show up.
No, because it was a story about a guy who was sent from Mars, so. Alright, so there we go. I'll just vamp on this one. And what is this lady? Where are we at? So we're gonna do Indigo.
Life over death and riches over poverty. No make bad mind people
And then-
pull you down like gravity. From me
Need to tie
rising at
something
the
into that.
morning, that means say me rich. Me get a second chance for do when me wish. Me glad say me dep on the wake up list. So me go babes and give her a kiss. Me now watch them bad
That
mouth,
seems
me now
that
watch
they remove it
critics.
that quickly.
Me now go
They-
sell
they-
out,
they-
and you know
they-
me now
I've-
stitch. Me dey
it's
up
not the
on
first time that's
journey,
happened to me,
you
so
know
it's
me
just
now
one of those.
quit. I hold that one mids and a bun a big split.
Alright, we'll do Florida Park
Rich in
Car.
a hell, but me
Show
rich
how
in a my
stupid
pocket.
people are. Florida
Bricks
Park Car.
from bricks every day, man, I stack it. Mansion from the hill, get to you, them fi have it. This is a blue man who ya make profit. Work hard for me things, sell some boy, no fi watch it. Man, not pre-violence, but mind me have to pop it. Chop. Them no want see you rich and happy. Them do anything in that
Use
them
restroom.
no want to stop it. From me rising in the morning, me know say me rich. Me get a second chance to do what me wish. Me glad say me dep on the wake up list. So me go babes and give her rocket. Me now watch them bad mouth, me now watch critics. Me now go sell out and you know me now snitch. Me day up on the journey, you know me now quit. I go and hold a meds and a bun a big slip. Me no see why you should have pull your brother down. When the cake big enough, no figure around. You a lock down the block, well me lock the town. You a unfeed the dollar, me a look the pound. You people a drop out me say every day. Give thanks because me they are same way. Me want live till me old and grey. Some gone too soon cause them choose the wrong way. From me rising at the morning, that means say me rich. Me get a second chance for do when me wish. Me glad say me dep on the wake up list. So me hug up babes and give her a kiss. Me now watch them bad mouth, me now watch critics. Me now go sell out and you know me nah snitch. Me day up on the journey, you know me nah quit. I hold a one mids and a bun a big split. Rich in a hell, but me rich in a my pocket. Bricks from bricks, every day man a stack it. Mansion from the hill, get to you, them fi have it. Business a blue man who ya make profit. Work hard for me things, sell some boy no fi watch it. Man nah pre-violence, but mind me have to pop it. Chop. Them no want see you rich and happy. Them do anything in a them put one up to stop it. From me rising in the morning, me know say me rich. Me get a second chance to do what me wish. Me glad some of the fun
her dad used to-
list. So me go babes and give her a kiss. Me now
When I-
watch
when I'm
them bad
talking to
mouth,
him,
me
I sit
now
there going,
watch critics. Me now go sell
Out
out
of habit,
and
and I was like
me
going,
nah snitch.
"Hot, you can't do
Me
that."
up on the journey,
What?
me know me nah
What am I doing?
quit. I go and hold
Put the
a
microphone
mix
right in front of you.
and a big split.
I could hear myself chewing the
Yeah,
licorice.
that's how. So make sure your mouth is completely.
Who's that person in the picture on the right?
On the right, it's Kathy Griffin.
Oh, okay, this is a comedian.
That's she cut all her hair off.
Yeah.
When she did that Trump thing where she held up Trump's head that was bloody
Yeah.
and got the whole feedback for it, she went into fucking panic mode and cut all her hair off.
She's a messed up. You know what the worst part
I
is?
used to thought she was attractive
Yeah.
until she started playing all these fucking.
Political. And
I
she's
said-
not. She's not funny though. The worst sin for a comedian is not being funny.
Well, she's funny to the gay community. She's not gay, but she's got a lot of gay ties, and the whole gay community loves her. So that was her niche. She wasn't trying to be that way, but she.
And I think leave politics out of it. If you're a baseball player, play baseball. You know what I mean? If you're an actor, act. You know what I mean? That's.
The only politics should be involved in your profession is when you vote.
I see beauty
Yeah,
when she
yeah,
smiles, 'cause she is truly amazing. When I look into her eyes, it's like I've gone stargazing. Cupid shot his little arrow
Right,
when
ready?
he missed it. Still
I am
crazy.
ready.
Trying not to fall for you's really driving me crazy. We can pull a skizzy Mars and we can chill and be lazy. All my friends say that I'm sprung, they make their jokes and they haze me, but it's okay. I'll charm you with my words. I love it when you laugh, 'cause your smile's your best curve. I get on your nerves.
You know you're always on my mind. I think about you all the time. You know you're always on my mind.
Welcome back to DeaconLive. You want some free swag? Of course you do. Everyone wants something for free, right, Dan?
Everybody wants something free.
Everyone wants something for free, and the way you get something for free, it's our thing to show appreciation to you for downloading us and doing all the stuff that links us to you and you to us, is to go over to Profit Radio, click on the free swag section, and we've got a couple packets up there. We got some stickers, we got some new magnets. Dan's got a couple on his new truck. How they look?
They look fantastic.
I think they just improved the value of your truck at least tenfold on those.
Yes, they did. I just got a bill from the state for my excise tax going up.
Did you? So the way you do that is to fill out a little form there and send us your, it's email and your physical address. Don't worry, I'm not going to do anything with it. I got too much other stuff. I got to worry about Dan over there eating Twizzlers. Dan, you eating Twizzlers over there.
They're red licorice. They're good for you.
Are they good for, how is licorice good for you? It's nothing but sugar and candy and fruit corn syrup or something, isn't it?
It's fat-free, and it's a vegetable, as far as you know.
How? I don't know. Anyway, Dan's over there snacking on some Twizzlers. My wife likes Twizzlers too, but it's no thrill for me for Twizzlers or any kind of licorice. Yes, it is. So speaking of no frills and no thrills, and from the file of people being just complete idiots. Now in Florida, well, not in Florida necessarily. This next story happened in Florida. The ocean has tides, with the moon rotating around this big planet of ours that we call Earth. Some people say it's flat, some people it's cone-shaped, who knows what it is. But either way, the water goes in and the water comes out. The water goes in, the water comes out. A car parked illegally on Florida's beaches. Now, some beaches in Florida you can park on, and some beaches in Florida you cannot park on. Unfortunately, this car parked illegally on the beach in Clearwater, Florida. Now, if you want to see this video, you go to profitradio.com, click on DeaconLive, and for every podcast we do, we have a matching video as well. You can see Dan over there eating his licorice, and you can see the screen, my big old monitor right here at the same time. In Clearwater, Florida, a driver out for a morning walk parked on the Florida beach and returned to find that the high tide had rolled in as well. Clearwater police said the car was illegally parked by a habitat restoration area, and when the high tide came in Tampa, Florida, it flooded it. Be careful where you park your car and go for a walk at sunrise, and then the tide comes rolling in on the Courtney
Campbell Causeway.
There you go. So make sure you be careful where you park at. And it says, do not enter, do not park here. So this guy, I guess it looks like a rent-a-car or just, I don't know what the case may be. He was parked and the tide came in and the water's probably, up to his wheel wells and up to the bottom of his door.
There's only one thing worse than getting your car flooded. It's getting flooded with seawater, with all the salt.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, the truck you bought for me was born and raised in Florida, so, I mean, it looks good, but I always took care of it, as far as salt water. Now, Dan, do you know what an indigo child is, or indigo children?
I believe indigo children are they're different than other children. It's not like autistic. They have different things that they can see that other kids don't see.
Now, what, like spirits, or?
No, they can sense things. They may be able to tell when someone's lying or not, or I don't know totally. Indigo children are like they have knowledge that they shouldn't really have at that age.
Now, would you think that would be something considered as like reincarnation? You said you had a nephew or niece or something that was that way in the family, or did I mishear that?
No, you're absolutely correct. I had a nephew, Michael, and he would always talk about the story until he was about 5 years old. He'd tell the stories about how he used to be a sailor in Australia, and he was scared to death of the water because he said that he drowned on a boat. And to this day, he will not go in a lake or a pond or anything. He'll go in a swimming pool.
How old is he now?
He's probably 45. He's a police officer now.
Oh, really? That's kind of a weird occupation to have if,
Well, a lot of our families into law enforcement.
Oh, okay. In a world of lost touch with its soul, Indigo Child is here to lighten the bearer and path forger and
Paragym.
Thank you, Paragym Shifter. Although the concept of indigo children originated in 1970, there have been groups of individuals all through the ages whose mission and purpose have been to awaken humanity. Now, if you're an old soul, or someone that's that person is an old soul, they you feel something different about them. They're here to create change, and you're likely an indigo child, is what they call you. So, truth and deception. The primary role of an indigo child seems to revolve around exposing truth and deception. From a young age, indigo children have been able to see through illusions, half-truth, falsehoods, which would actually benefit a police officer, working a beat or anything like that. So, does he say that helps his job at all?
Oh no, he was in he believed in, he told stories that had to be from reincarnation, but not from being an indigo child. That's a separate thing.
Okay, well, I'm confused now. But anyways, to their parents and teachers, they may seem like overly inquisitive, headstrong, and obnoxious children. Why is the sky blue? Why is the dog, breath this and that? Shut up, Tommy. Go eat your cereal with milk or almond butter or whatever you eat. A precocious truth teller, child and adults that are indigos can't help but see through the bullshit facades that other people and expose them directly. Maybe I'm an indigo child, Dan. You ever think about that?
I think about that all the time.
You don't think about I'm an indigo child,
no.
But seeing through bullshit and stuff. But I do ask a lot of questions. This desire to bring truth to light seems to be written into the indigo child's DNA. So that's a new term. The reason why I brought this article up, the original article that I can't find it now, was there was a Russian guy, a gentleman child, was born, and of course at 1 year old he could speak truths about the space. At 1 year old, at 7 years old, he could speak about truths of the planets and space, and understood space in general more than an adult would. And when he hit his teenage years, excuse me, when he hit his teenage years, he started explaining that he was sent from Mars to this planet through this child that he was reincarnated with. I guess that's where your nephew was. And he said, don't explore Mars. You don't want to see what's on Mars. Was that whole article, and of course Facebook pulled it down. I can't find the article now, but I forget his name. But that's what started this whole conversation. Have you met anyone like from Mensa or anyone that has that other than your nephew, and you just see like they're a little off for some reason?
I've seen some children that I've known that are 1 or 2 years old that are so smart they can tell you between a conifer tree and a deciduous tree, totally light years ahead away of other children. I've seen some of those and talked to them, and you're just amazed how smart they are. I can't say they're an indigo child or reincarnation, but I have seen kids that are you just look at them and say, this kid is a lot smarter at his age anyway.
He shouldn't be that smart. You should not be that smart, little child. But then, depending on who you talk to in our school system, do they suppress those children? Hey, you shouldn't be that smart. And then a lot of groups want to say you shouldn't have an advanced class for students. Everyone should move at the same pace. But then you're distinguishing, or what's the word I'm looking for?
You're discriminating.
Well, not discriminating. You're almost extinguishing. That's the word I'm looking for. Extinguishing their ability to grow with their knowledge, and you're left down with the dum-dums like us. Because I was the one that was always in, the basic classes.
And I was always the one through school until you got to algebra. Everything was a snap to me. I'd look out the window and not pay attention, but I knew all the answers. And teacher got mad because they knew I wasn't paying attention. They'd ask you a question, you'd tell them the answer, and they get aggravated.
So when did you start taking algebra?
Probably 9th grade.
So right when you hit puberty and stuff.
Yeah, algebra and geometry are all you have to really stop and think. Mm-hmm. But most of the other things I learned in school were just a snap to me. I never had a problem with that.
Now, speaking of snap, Dan, you had the COVID shot, right?
That's correct.
Now, have you you got the shot? Where did they give your shot?
In the right arm.
In your right arm. Have you seen the new trend that's out there as far as how on TikTok how to get rid of the soreness in your arm before it hits?
No, I have not seen that.
So if you go to TikTok, and this is a new trend that's out there right now, and kids are flailing their arms. Let's see if I can find a video. I'll find a video and play it here in a minute. But kids are literally like windmilling their arms in the air to kind of get the shot juice into the extremities, I guess. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, it makes sense. I don't see why you do it. I mean,
it doesn't work, by the way. It doesn't work. So if you see a kid out there who just got the coronavirus start windmilling his arm in the air. But you know what does work is, you ever had Novocaine, you got teeth drilled or cavities or whatever. If you massage your face, it's kind of the same principle. You move that anesthetic around, or is it anesthetic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
anesthetic.
You move that anesthetic around and your face will actually become less numb. They say like chew ice or eat a sandwich or something. And if you massage it around, that will go away quicker than you just sitting there looking at the wall.
Okay, I've never found a problem having your mouth numb after Novocaine. It's never a big issue for me anyway.
But sometimes you're trying to, let's say you got a big board meeting the next day, and I got a dentist appointment 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll be out by 10. Well, the meeting's at 11, Tom. All right, I'll be fine. And then you get up there, hello, ladies and gentlemen of the 7th class, and your face is still numb. So if you massage your face a little bit more, it gets the Novocaine out, the anesthesia out of your face, so it's not numb anymore, quicker. So I guess spinning your arm around the same way would get whatever causes the pain of your arm, or the COVID shot.
Well, I think moving your shoulder around is gonna help your arm so it doesn't stiffen up and get sore. That's
all right. Well, there you go. All right, welcome back, Dan. Dan, I don't know if he knows that he's qualified for the COVID-19 lottery, and we'll find out how you are, or if he is as well. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Proper Radio. I'll be right back.
Wouldn't that absolutely kill you if I won the lottery and you said, no, I refuse to get shot, and you lose? You had that one chance, you could have got $1 million.
Yeah, but it goes back to my argument about you're only getting $650,000.
Oh, yeah.
I can't live off $650,000.
One thing...
I mean, I could, but I have to work McDonald's just to have groceries.
Yeah, that's the one thing is that we have found that we are able to survive with just like you say, a little $30 a week here, a little that. All those things add up, and that takes care of things. Kathy can't quite understand that. I had a nephew that was tested as an Indigo child, but they found that he wasn't. But he was really sharp at things. But my wife watched a 2-year-old boy, Steven, and he was so smart. And he could order stuff in a restaurant when he was 2 years old. Yes, I'd like to have a hot dog. And could I get French fries with ketchup on it, please? And I mean, it was like you're ordering from an adult. And waitresses would just sit there and go, I've never had a child this age order food. Oh, it's today?
We'll find out. Here's the arm swinging thing.
I can't help thinking that is going to help whenever if you have something local and you move around a little bit.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
They said in the thing, it's like, nope. Right.
Oh, I'm down to $48 in my account.
And what?
Oh, the one that I paid $110.
I haven't even looked at mine. Let's see how much of it. Oh God. What's killing me is that the Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, mine gone up to $57. It was down to 48.
There you go. Okay, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I was not eating licorice on the air. I want you to put a disclaimer in this.
I think it's funny though.
Yeah.
I have to make an excuse for any kind of background noise that happens. So at least people go, oh, all right, that's fine.
My wife's going, I don't know whether I should, she's going to be too critical of everything. Don't say this. Why'd you say this?
All right, you ready?
I am ready.
Yeah. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the social contact section, and there's a little drop-down menu, and you can see all the links that links us to you and you to us. And while you're there, get some free swag. Dan, you got some free swag?
Yes, I got the free bumper stickers from my truck. They look fantastic.
Well, good. And don't forget, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. We are located on about 22 some odd acres. We have horses, we have chickens, we have cattle and dogs and deer and rabbits. I saw some rabbits the other night. We were working on the backside of the property, and little jackrabbit bunnies, maybe about the size of those chocolate Easter bunnies that you get, Easter time where you bite the ears off at the first time. You know what I'm talking about?
I remember them very well.
So that's about the size of the bunnies we have running around here on the property. And I feel bad because they live in that tall grass. And if I go out there mowing, if I see Mama run out of there, I know that there's little babies in there somewhere down in the... So if I see Mama, I stop mowing. I stopped mowing the tall grass.
That's a good idea. You know how that can ruin the blade of your mower.
So I go out there and just kind of step around a little bit and see if I can find the little babies, and they run around. Now, Dan, would you like to be a millionaire? You ever gambled before?
I've played the lottery before.
Now, have you gone to like Vegas or anything like that and gambled or gone to one of the casinos?
No, the gambling I do is driving down the road with all drivers that always want to come over on my side of the road.
It's scary that they do that, you know.
And I gambled when I got married, and I came out very well on it.
Oh, well, you got at least 50% driving on the road, down. Getting married, up. A woman claims online casino refuses to pay her $3 million win over a glitch in the system. A Michigan woman, you ever played online gambling?
No, I have not.
Okay, so a Michigan woman has claimed that BetMGM will not pay her the $3 million she won with the casino, saying that there was a glitch in the system. Jacqueline Davis from Detroit says she became hooked on the online gambling on March 18th and ended up playing for 5 days straight. She said it even affected her sleep. Who sleeps when they're winning money? In particular, Davis was drawn to the BetMGM's St. Patrick's Day Luck-O the roulette game, or however you say it.
Luck of the roulette game.
Yeah, there you go. The game itself is described by BetMGM as a fixed odd betting game system based on roulette. So what happened was she would start with $50 and she would play and she would play and she would play, and then she'd build up her bank account, you know, up and down and up and down. Finally, she got to a point where she could add up to the max amount, which was $5,000. This is 5 days. This is work. This is actual work. A lot of people gamble for work.
And it's an addiction. We have friends that lost their house. The husband lost the house, and the woman became addicted, and she lost the house.
And her husband.
Yep.
Did she lose her husband?
She lost her husband, and they got divorced, and he went through all that gambling, lost the house. She divorced him, saved up money, got her own house, and she got addicted to gambling and lost her house. So Davis said she got her established credit up to $5,000, so she was betting the max. And then eventually what happened was she went to the MGM and said, hey, can I get an advancement, $100,000, because I've got a bank account of whatever now betting on this thing. And they said, yeah, we'll give you up to six figures. $100,000 they gave her on an advancement. She played and played and played and eventually worked up a $3 million payout. So when she hit payout, cash out or whatever it is, MGM said nope, or BetMGM said nope. There's a glitch in the system. You don't qualify for it, and we'll give you your $100,000 if you go away and don't tell anyone. Well, she got an attorney, and found out that the games are reset every 24 hours, and you didn't tell my client, and there was a whole rigmarole on that. So, and I think she has a good case.
Yeah, she does have a good case. Now, this woman right here, imagine going to your bank, and Dan, we've seen this story a million times. Do you use ATMs at all?
No, I don't.
No. So when you go to ATM, one of the things that I hate doing is looking at the balance. If you pull out $20 and they charge you $5 to get your $20 out, and at the bottom always has a balance of what's in your account, right? So this woman right here discovers that she just wanted to get out $20 and oh God, I got to turn this off because there's a video in there. Hold on. So in Largo, Florida, Julia
Yonkowski,
good friend of ours here at the station.
We went to different schools together.
Yes. Went to her local Chase Bank in Florida over the weekend to withdraw some money, and she wanted to check her balance first before she pulled out the whatever $20. According to the bank's receipt she received in Largo on Saturday, it said that she had $999,985,855.94 in her bank account. Now, to round that up, I would call that $1 million or $1 billion. For more on the story, we'll go to WFLA right here. And the way you see this video is go to ProfitRadio.com, click on Deacon Live, and for every podcast we do, we have a matching video as well, and you can see my screen here in real time. So here we go. This is WFLA.
Magically appeared in your bank account.
I hope you would tell me. That's exactly what happened to a woman in Largo. In your side, Olivia Steen starting us off tonight live.
That's right. Well, Julia Youngkowski went to a Chase Bank ATM in Largo just like this one to get some cash. But before she wanted to check her account balance, that's when she noticed a few extra numbers.
My gosh, I was horrified. I know most people would think they won the lottery, but I was horrified.
According to this Chase Bank receipt, Julia Youngkowski had $999,985,855.94 in her account.
I said that.
Shocked was an understatement.
Didn't I said, oh my gosh, who would put $1 billion in my account? Nobody.
She originally went to the ATM just to grab $20.
And when I put in for the $20, the machine came back and said, well, we can give you the $20, but that'll cause an overdraft. And you will be charged. And I said, oh, just forget it.
And she hasn't touched her account since Saturday night.
I know I've read stories about people that took the money or took out money and then they had to repay it. And I wouldn't do that anyway because it's not my money.
Youngkowski also worries that what she did have in the bank could be compromised.
It kind of scares me because of cyber knife threats and, I don't know what to think.
She told me she's reached out to the Largo Chase Bank several times since becoming a temporary billionaire.
And I just can't get through. I get tied up with their automated system, and I can't get a person.
8 on Your Side also reached out to Chase for her, but no one was available to speak because the bank was closed.
I give it a 30-day. 30 days. If they have not removed it out of my account in 30 days, it's mine.
Am we back on here?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I would give him 30 days.
Because, hey, I'm trying to give you back your $1 billion. The number you have called is temporary. If you'd like to speak to an assistant, that type is what I'm seeing. I would walk into the bank and say, hey, look, you might want to check your machine. Ma'am, do you have an appointment? No, I don't. Ma'am, you need to make an appointment online and come back and, Teresa over there, she's busy with a customer. She'll get with you Thursday next week. All right, sure.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I know one thing. I would not sleep well at night.
Really?
I would be up at night wondering about what am I going to do with this? Or is there, if something happens, how can I get some of this money out?
Yeah, you would have to think, can I trickle some of it out? Can I pull like 1,000 and have it just go into another account automatically? I used to do that when I was a single guy, I'd have 3 different accounts and the money generated this, my bank, my paycheck would go in, and let's say my paycheck's $1,000. So the $1,000 would go in, and then all my bills would come out. And then in 2 weeks, if the amount was above $400 left in my account, I would take $200 of that and would automatically put it into my savings. It was automatically done for me. And that's the way I set it up. It was like this big loop rabbit chasing the carrot around. And I would always, and by the end of the year, I had like $20,000 in my bank.
Yeah, I suppose you could do something like wear a mask and go to different ATMs and draw out a certain amount each day for the rest of your life.
It's kind of like winning the lottery. Now, Dan, you have taken the COVID-19 vaccination, right?
Yes, my wife and I have both had both shots.
Okay. So do you know if you're available or do you qualify for the North Carolina? We talked last week that North Carolina is now giving away $1 million to, I think it's 5 residential and then I think a full scholarship to 5 students under 18 or whatever they're doing now.
What I do know is that my knife and spoons are always sticking to my face because I'm magnetized now. I'm not sure about the lottery. I've just heard about it.
You look, like I said, you got out of the truck today and you looked a little shorter. North Carolina is holding its first $1 million drawing Wednesday morning. This morning. Dan, you might be a millionaire.
That would be great.
You're my best friend, by the way.
Yes.
At the end of the show.
Either way.
Yeah, either way. I don't know. $1 million makes you a little bit more palatable. It's a joke, Dan. It's a joke.
Yes, my wife might start talking to me
Right.
again.
With less than 2 weeks until 4th of July, the state lags behind Joe Biden's goal of 70%. Now, he's flying in, I think, this Friday, and he's going to go around in Charlotte. He's actually flying into Charlotte, and he's going to be wagging his fingers at everyone for not getting their vaccines here in North Carolina. In North Carolina, 41% of the people over the age of 12 are fully vaccinated. 44% have had only their first dose. 44%. That's a small amount of people here in North Carolina.
Yeah,
you
could-
included.
You could do better.
Yep. Governor Roy Cooper hoped that the lottery would boost the numbers. Not only do you get to protect yourself and your family, but the people who come in contact with you could win $1 million. So everyone who got at least one dose of the vaccination in North Carolina will be assigned a number. At 10 a.m. Wednesday, which just passed, did you get a number? Everyone who got at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine in North Carolina will be assigned a number. Dan, where's your number at?
Oh, I am number 6. It's my IQ also.
I'm number 5. Officials will go down the list until they find an eligible winner who agrees to reveal their identity. See, that's the thing. In North Carolina, if you win the lottery, whatever lottery, you have to reveal your identity. Now, in South Carolina, you don't.
Yes, that's correct. But if you in the lottery, if you buy a ticket in North Carolina, you have to cash it in North Carolina.
I know, that's the crappy part. Not a huge spike that we saw in Ohio is what they're saying at the Mecklenburg County Office Health Director. They hope that they will turn around once the winner is announced. So here's how do you do this? So, for example, I'm against. Play with me, Dan.
Yes, I'm with you.
I am against getting the COVID-19 vaccine, right? My wife is not. But then I go down and I say, all right, I'll get $1 million. I'll get the vaccine. I'll get the vaccine. But I don't tell my wife. And then I win the $1 million. And then she goes, where are you going? I'm like, I got to do some shopping or something like that. Well, you were against it. How did you get the $1 million? Well, I got the first dose.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing I think about people getting the vaccine is if you don't get the vaccine, it's up to you. But there's going to be more variants from the people that don't have the vaccine, and some of those are going to, they're getting worse. The Delta variant is supposed to be doubling in infections every week.
I don't know. I don't care about that. I just want the $1 million in.
Oh, you're only going to get $650,000 after taxes. It's
Jesus.
really not even worthwhile.
I'll have to figure out I'll play the online gambling at the same time, I guess. All right, stick around. When we come back, we got a couple more things to dive into, and then we'll wrap up the show. You're listening to DeaconLive right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
Oh, we still have a lot more to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's that time of the show. Oh.
You want another can?
Huh? Yeah. These got so much sugar in them.
Oh. That recycling place, when they only give you a hole that big, you need a big can opener to open that
I
up.
know. I also understand. You know what it used to be? The recycle center, if you look, there's a lower level. Like you could drive your car around and dump stuff into the top of it.
Yeah.
I guess I have problems with other stuff. So we start the show at 1:34.
Yeah.
That's why I said it takes an hour and a half of breaks and doing all this stuff to do the episode.
I want to do it right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, an hour show doesn't take 1 hour to do.
Oh, I know. And if it takes longer, I mean, that's all part of it. Kathy said don't dilly-dally, though, when I'm done to get home.
Whatever.
But you know what we are going to have to do sometime? If we get a show done real early, well, I was thinking I could bring my controller and we could play Call of Duty against each other. But Amy's, and that's the quiet
Yeah, we'd have to put headphones and all that stuff on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could do headphones.
I mean, we could move it into the other room, which is not a big deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometime when we're done early, and then we can.
Just play it on a Saturday. If we do a cookout or something, you and Kathy come over.
Yeah.
She can play with the horses, and we can play touchy feely on,
we
on the PlayStation.
And you could kick my ass, and you think, gee, this is much better than beating a 6-year-old kid, Timmy, little Timmy that I beat the other days.
Yeah. All right.
I'm having two things happen to me at the same time.
What's that?
One is getting nice vehicles that we haven't, and the other thing is just getting back into the real world. I mean, you didn't go anywhere. You had your apprehensions and different things you thought about, but you've lived your life the whole last year. But then again, I didn't have to go to Home Depot, so that's
right. That's always good. That fucking bird out there. Hear it? It sounds like a laser, like Space Invaders. No, it's not going to do it. All right, ready?
I'm ready.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. For those of you out there who like all the music that you hear here on Deacon Live, you can enjoy those guys as much as we do. Each one of them is an unsigned artist, an independent artist, and they show their love and support for Deacon Live, and I want you to show some love and support for them as well. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio on the right-hand side of the page. Every artist that you hear playing on Deacon Live, you can find all their information and show them some love as much as you guys have shown us some love as well. Now over to my far right-hand side, speaking of showing some love, Dan is here in the studio. How are you?
I'm great this afternoon.
This afternoon, actually, yeah.
Wonderful day here in Marshville.
It's a little cooler since that tropical storm came through, and we actually had the power that came back on, and the internet's now up and running, which is always a good thing because we can record the podcast, but if we can't upload it to the internet, to iHeartRadio, then what good are we doing? We're just sitting here, two ding-dongs talking in a upstairs apartment.
That is the nicest anything said about me in a long time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now, so I am. Let's see how I'm going to word this. I'm trying to touch on this very, very gingerly. So a high school friend of mine was, I guess, diagnosed with cancer, and I know cancer is nothing to laugh at, anything like that. But Dan, have you ever seen? I know you're new to Facebook. I don't want to say you're an older gentleman, but there's a generation gap between the two of us. Yeah?
Yeah, there is a generation gap, and I've just recently got on Facebook. I've tried to avoid it. I got on because I'm selling some birdhouses and vehicles and a few things.
Right.
And we have Facebook in our neighborhood, so you can find out what's new and ongoing.
So under pressure, you were put into Facebook.
Yeah, it wasn't something I avoided it for the longest time.
Okay, so on Facebook, have you ever seen, happy birthday, instead of sending, Deacon a birthday present, support his whatever charity it is, right? And you see, it's a $200 to the SPCA, whatever.
I have seen a lot of things like that.
Okay, so, and, send a donation under your name for this event or this charity and thing, and you see the little bar. It's like a little thermostat or thermometer. The bar goes up to the achieved goal.
A mercury thermometer.
That's it. And this one girl that I went to school with, and I'm not saying that she's faking it, I'm not saying but 6 years she's been battling cancer. Now, I understand it takes a long time. There's different types of cancer. But every time I see the post, it's always for $10,000. And then she reaches her goal, and then I see another thing that pops up that says $10,000 for another $10,000 and another $10,000. So here I am thinking, I kind of like pose the question, she's a U.S. citizen. Isn't there something that she can qualify for? I know that there's a story, not to dive too deep into this and to make it too dark, that she's going down to Mexico because they do a treatment down there that they won't do up here in the United States because it's experimental down in Mexico and they don't want to do it up here in the United States. So it's $10,000 to go down there and get the experiment and then come back up, and she get this and the treatment and that. And the whole thing is that she wants to be part of her child's life, which I understand completely. You want to spend as much time on this planet. Some of us want to spend as much time on this planet as you possibly can.
Understand totally. And what I see when people are getting requests for it, first thing I think of is the people that are scam artists. And it's a horrible way to think, but you read the stories on the news about people who, they'll get $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 worth of stuff and find out that they were never sick. And that's a sad way to think about things.
It is a sad thing. So we're all a little skeptical as far as donating money to a cause. And I feel bad, but I guess my main concern, I'm trying to clear this up because a lot of friends were like, bad mouthing me and pointing fingers at me. I just want to say, isn't there something here in the United States that she can qualify for, that she can get help for, or something like that? So I don't know if that's anything that I don't know. Well, hold on. Before I say I don't know anything about cancer or anything, my dad has melanoma all over his skin. Is that skin cancer, right?
And that is one of the most deadliest cancers.
My dad, growing up as a child, as an adolescent, you could see a red dot, a red scar or a red scab on my dad's nose. As I got older and he got older and all that scab took over his whole entire nose and his shoulder. To this day, because now that my mom, said you need to take care of this, he doesn't have a nose. My dad has no forehead. The muscles and everything, short of being, to a skull, is gone. His whole entire shoulder, where he had this, is gone. And then because he's waited so long, it's spread, and he gets he's got all these divots in his arm, like he was hit with a golf club several times, where they've actually had to remove muscle, remove skin. It might be the size of a quarter, but they take the size of a whole, like a 45 record out of his arm.
And you can get a sunburn when you're 15 years old, and you don't notice the effects till you're 25, 30.
That's exactly what's happened to my dad. My grandfather, his dad, was a fisherman. So he would go out on the big charter boats with him because that was my grandfather's way of living, was going out on the fishing boat and pulling in fish and selling it to the market. So my dad would help his dad do all that stuff. And now, granted, I have my mom's skin, but I always put sunblock on, and I always worry about that stuff. But my dad, to this day, I'm not saying he's putting up a GoFundMe, to help my skin cancer or anything like that. Because skin cancer, you know what? It's not fancy. It's not exciting. It's not sexy.
It's very deadly, though.
It is very deadly because it can leak into all your other organs and stuff. So anyways, this person just posted the thing up, and I was like going, there's got to be something that the United States, it's helping my dad. So there's some kind of program out there, I don't know what medical field that falls into as far as cancer. I know that my best friend, who I talked about earlier, God, this is getting depressing. His wife had some kind of stomach issues, and he had a good friend in the hospital said, hey, look, if she fills out this and fills out this and fills out this, we can remove that tumor or whatever that she had free of charge. And he was like, yeah, that was like a $60,000 operation, and they removed it. It was benign, and she's good to go. So
we have a very good friend lived in South Carolina. She needed a kidney transplant. She talked to all the doctors, everybody in South Carolina, told her, he said, we can't do anything without insurance. We're not going to admit you. We're not going to do anything. She got on an airplane and flew to Massachusetts. She went to Boston. They brought her into Mass General Hospital and said, we're going to take care of this. We're going to find you a place, housing to live. And they did the whole operation and didn't cost her a dime. And she had no insurance.
Well, good. And she's still around to this day? Or is this...
Yes, she is.
Oh, well, good. Mazel tov to her. So I just wanted to bring that up. I didn't know... I'm not familiar with this, so I just wanted to bring it up there and just get your opinion on it. And if you want to let me know your opinion, the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the little blue the little blue bar at the very bottom right-hand side of the page, and it opens up a microphone on your tablet, on your device, on your PC, and you can speak right into that. It sends it right to our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. Whether it be this podcast, if you want to talk about stuff we talked about in the past, feel free. And make sure you get some free swag for your time. We appreciate you, and you appreciate us. What's wrong, Dan? You okay?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah,
I'm doing
okay.
great. Hopefully we'll get into something a little bit lighter than this.
Well, have you ever had someone cheat on you and... like in a relationship, or have you, I don't want to say, Dan, have you ever cheated on anyone?
I can honestly tell you I've never cheated on my wife, and I've never had anyone cheat on me.
No, I mean like your early days. Now, when you got married, how old were you when you were married?
I was 20 years old.
Okay.
My wife was 10. She was 18.
She was 18, okay. But you've had relationships before your wife, and I say relationships. You've had like high school girlfriends or junior high, kissing buddies or anything like that. Have you had, girlfriends or anything like that?
No. It's my wife. Seriously.
Really?
Yeah. 47 years in August.
Well, congratulations. So this girl right here, and this is the new thing on TikTok, which kind of drives me insane, is that girls or guys are starting to call out people on TikTok. Now, I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's false. I don't know if it's set up. But this girl right here said that she went to the jewelry shop to expose her petty way to a customer to get back at her cheating ex. So what happened was this jewelry shop has almost 2 million followers on TikTok and had an unusual order that came in from a vengeful girlfriend. So what happened was the girlfriend said, I want to make a necklace for my boyfriend. We're getting ready to come up on 6 years. I want a necklace that celebrates our 6 years. So the jeweler said, okay, what do you want? She said, I want the date that we started dating on the front of the necklace, and it's one of those gold bar necklaces. And on the back of it, I want the names inscribed of the 3 girls that he's been cheating on me with. And I'm going to give it to him in front of his parents at our 6-year anniversary. So for more on this, you can watch the video right here. And she bought a couple other things, to make herself happy and everything. So here you go.
Girl, what? Wants me to put all of the girls' names he cheated on with. First, I'll be making their anniversary date. Now for the names of the girls he cheated with. She's gonna give him the necklaces in front of his family so that he can read it out loud. The other side is their anniversary. She also got herself butterfly necklaces for Hot Girl Summer, and this crystal bracelet that takes away negativity in your life. I can't wait to see his reaction.
All right, so I'm gonna play the video.
Wants me to put.
So she's she's showing what's going on. And TikTok videos are so fast, so you gotta pay attention. Pay attention, everyone. Switch screens here so everyone can see it and we can all be friends, except for this guy. So here's the video.
All of the girls' names he cheated on with.
So she's putting all 3 names.
First, I'll be making their anniversary date. Now for the names of the girls he cheated with. She's gonna give him the necklaces in front of his family so that he can read it out loud. The other side is their anniversary. She also got herself butterfly necklaces for Hot Girl Summer, and this crystal bracelet that takes away negativity in your life. I can't wait to see his reaction. Girl, what? Wants me to.
So I don't know if it's set up or anything, but yeah. So she bought a necklace. This is the actual jeweler doing all that. And I guess he's going to give it to her or to him because he was cheating on her. And it's one of those trends. I think it's all set up. I mean, you spend a little bit of money, maybe $200 for a necklace, and get, what, 5 million, 6 million likes?
Yeah, I think it sounds very strange to me, and it's something I think is set up just for the TikTok.
Yeah, it's very, very set up for the TikTok. Now, something that wasn't set up for the TikTok. Dan, very important question to you.
I'm ready.
All right. So, you ever seen like a woman at a bar, and not you've done anything, but you see like you ever been in a bar like just watching someone at a bar, and all of a sudden you see a guy kind of schmoozing over these two. Oh, look, there's two beautiful women sitting there, and then someone comes over and they're just like drunk or just belligerent, and they're hitting on these two, and the girl, you could tell that the two girls or two women do not want to have any participation in this guy at all.
I've seen that several times.
And it doesn't, you feel bad. You feel bad for that. And so what do? I mean, how do you don't want to go over there and say, hey, guy, Dan, not for nothing, you're not a very strapping man. You're a good-looking guy, but you are not an intimidating gentleman.
No, you're absolutely right.
So this Florida bartender goes viral for disguising a note as a receipt to help the customers he thought were being harassed. So this gentleman right here is a bartender at a local bar here in Florida. A woman tweeted thanking the bartender at the St. Petersburg, Florida, for protecting her from a customer she said was harassing her, has gotten attention for the discreet way that he appeared to offer help. So what happened was, he on a receipt says, ma'am, here's your receipt. And on the receipt it says, if this guy's bothering you, take your ponytail to one side of your shoulder and move it to the other side of your shoulder, and I will have this guy removed. So the bartender, the woman saw the receipt and said, okay, yes, and moved their hair to the other side. The bartender, clapped his hands, stomped his feet, clicked to the doorman, and had this guy removed. So, I mean, this is the first time like a bartender has helped someone in distress. I mean, there's a lot of things that are out there, but this guy right here, this man was harassing me, and my friend and the bartender passed the note acting like it was a receipt. The woman wrote, legit, this is the legit type of bartender that everyone needs. So here's the actual picture of the bartender. If this guy's bothering you, see this right here?
I like that. That's a nice story.
And, well, I mean, because the bartender's probably seen it a million times. Gay or not gay, the bartender's probably, he's fear for both sexes,
And that's somebody going above and beyond what they should do, and we need more of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, where are we at here for time? Nope. Okay. Now, going above and beyond, Dan, speaking of dating and picking up people in a bar, my wife and I, our first date was at Halloween Horror Nights. Well, I say our first date. Our second date was at Halloween Horror Nights. Do you know what Halloween Horror Nights is?
I am not familiar with that.
All right, so in Florida, Universal Studios. You have Universal Studios and you have Islands of Adventure. Now, for those of you who don't know, I was born and raised in Orlando, and we moved up here to Charlotte, North Carolina. Actually, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. And we live on a ranch, 22 some odd acres, and with horses and cattle and chickens and all that stuff all mine. So Universal Studios started back, 30 years ago. This is the 30th. God, no. Is it? It's got to be. God damn it, Dan. I feel old as hell now. But Universal Studios, before Islands of Adventure, used to do Halloween Horror Nights. And what better place to go to be scared than an actual film theater production lot? and they would do all the special effects, not like these, mom and pop places. They do a pretty good job, but for the most part, they have Halloween stuff there. So Halloween Horror Nights, because of COVID-19, is now back in full effect, and it will happen this year. Now, Jack the Clown was one of the first iconic creatures that came out of Universal Studios.
Clowns are creepy.
Clowns are creepy. I don't find clowns creepy. A lot of people have a weird. Like, are you afraid of clowns?
No, I just find them creepy. Yeah.
Even if they're like smiling, juggling, like McDonald's the Clown and all that.
Especially them.
Do you really? See, they don't bother me at all. But just to let you know, Jack the Clown returns to Halloween Horror Nights 30 that will be happening in Universal Studios this year. So here's a little trailer for it. And the way you see that is go to ProfitRadio.com, click on Deacon Live, and for every podcast we do, you see a matching video as well. So here we go. I'm going to blow it up big and strong so everyone can see it.
Some say he's the one behind every scream. Some say he only comes out every few years. And some say he's closer than you think. To mark the event's 30th year, Jack is back at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. And this year, he's everywhere. In a haunted house, in the dark where you least expect. But the one place he's sure to be is...
in your nightmares. See, that sounds scary. I mean, granted, it's scary to a certain point. But from September 30 or September 3rd all the way to October 31st is Halloween Horror Nights, which is great because they used to actually push it all the way to November.
Yeah, I have a nephew that is a big Halloween fan. He's got a house in Massachusetts, in Lunenburg, and every year he does up for Halloween. He has a Halloween tour, walk through his yard. We went there one year. He dug holes about 5 feet deep in the ground and had people all dressed up like zombies buried in the dirt and leaves up to their waist and laying there like a half a body. And then when people come by, it would sit up and groan. And I walked through there, and it gave me the creeps. He did a fantastic job. And every year he'd spend about 60 days working on it, planning it.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do that stuff, especially dig the holes.
Yeah, and he would go to any extreme that he could do, and he'd come up with ideas, and he would spend months working on it. And there'd be carloads all around the corner, people lined up, and people love to have the crap scared out of them.
Well, I do too. All right, and hold on. Switch screens here. Yeah, so Amy, my wife, I've told the story a million times, and I'll do a short version of it. We went out to our first date. We went out to a very nice restaurant because that's what you do. And then after the restaurant, I said, thank you very much for the dinner. I paid for it and all this stuff, and see you later. And then a couple days later, I didn't hear from her. And then I got a phone call from her because I didn't think she was into me. And I got a phone call a couple days later. She's like, hey, it's Amy. I'm like, hey. She's like, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm getting ready to book my Halloween Horror Nights ticket. She's like, oh, I've never been. I said, you've never been to Halloween Horror Nights? I've been there every year for the last 5 years, so that's whatever. And she's like, I'd love to go. I said, well, look, I'm just going to let you know right now. I'm going to let you know. I take a taxi out there. I get crazy. I drink a lot of beer and have a great time. If you want to hang out with me, let's go. She's like, I'd love to go. And sure enough, we had a great time. I actually bought 4. Here's the biggest funny part. I bought 4 of the disposable cameras. I bought 4 of them. I got 2 and she got 2. I said, this is what we're doing. This is before like flip phones had cameras and all that. I said, you're in charge of those 2 cameras and I'm in charge of these 2 cameras. At the end of the night, we'll, the next day we'll develop them and see all the funny pictures and stuff. So at the end, so we were taking pictures left and right, taking pictures of us, riding on rides and having a great time. And at the end of the night, she's like, I only have 1 camera. You lost one of yours. You've got one of mine. I'm like, no, I've got both of mine. So I said, the way we're going to find out is develop them. So sure enough, developed all 3 cameras that we had left. We lost one somewhere. Both my cameras developed. All the pictures I took. She lost one somewhere, so she only had 1 camera that she so.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
When was the exact moment you said, Amy is the woman I want to be with for the rest of my life?
We were on. I actually bought a boat to impress her, and this is about 6 months after us dating. We were on the St. Johns River on Lake Monroe, and it was the sun was setting, and she spent all day, me and her friends, and the sun was setting, and we were coming into the port, and we were listening to whatever song, and she probably knows the song. She's going to kill me for not knowing it. And I kind of looked at her, and I kind of shook my head, and she said, yep. And I go, yep, this is it. And she said the same thing, and that was it. And we docked the boat, and that was it.
But you can't remember the song.
I can't remember the song, but I knew exactly the moment, so.
Well, that's sweet. That's nice.
I know. Everyone's crying. Oh my God, I'm crying. All right, when we come back, I'm going to tell you about this kid who proposed to his girlfriend and got the biggest rejection that a kid should never have at this age. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Proper Radio. I'll be right back. Yeah.
It was good. We went on. I went up to Kathy, and I got a job driving a truck delivering medical supplies. And, I was 20 years old, got a truck delivering medical supplies. And I said, well, now that I got a job, maybe we can get married someday. I said that to her. The next thing you know, they're out picking out dates, and they got the wedding gown.
Oh, really?
Is
that when you sold the car to marry her?
Yeah, we sold I sold the Tempest so I could get the wedding ring for her and stuff.
Well, good.
And both of us started out with nothing. So, now, how old are you?
48.
Okay, you're 48. So you figure for this farm, you probably got, you were talking about selling it now, but you probably got 15 years you could do this, till you said, okay, my body can't do it anymore. So.
Probably 15 years if I can get everything done now. 15 years, yes, by all means. I don't have to,
And you sell that, and you probably in 15 years, the way prices, you may be a millionaire just selling a house for $1 million.
I'll be a millionaire in 2 years.
Yeah. No, I mean selling the property.
No, I mean a millionaire in 2 years. This property in 2 years, the way the property value is, in 2 to 3 years, this will be $1 million property.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's going to be even more. So it is crazy. So
because of the way the houses are building up here. Yeah. He bought his next door for $470. Yeah. He bought that one up there for $528. That one, and they don't have nearly the land that we do. And these houses over here are going for $450,000, and they're on a quarter acre.
A quarter acre.
So
my father-in-law said something about land. He said they don't make it.
They don't make it anymore.
They haven't made it in a long time, as he says.
All right, let's do it. Let me go to the bathroom real quick, and we'll wrap up the show, and then we'll get into all the guts of the show. Watch your headphones. Got 2 fucking mowers running out there. My neighbor next door here, he's mowing, and the guy across the street, he's got a big old friggin' hustler out there friggin' mowing his.
We have to. I mean, this is all going to come in time. But we got to find a way to like communicate. Like there was one time you looking at me to say something, and I have to, when I have nothing to say, I got to go do something.
You should always have something to say.
Yeah, okay. Well, I thought you had tied it all up and there wasn't anything I could add on to the end. Okay.
Always.
Okay.
Whether it's, oh my God, I got a stain on my shirt.
Yeah.
Always have something to say.
Oh, okay.
Now you can see the rhythm, because I'll sit there and I'll say a whole statement and I'll say something, and then it make you think about something, and I'll take a step back, and that's why I'm kind of like take a sip of my beer, and I'm waiting for you to just kind of...
Yeah, and that's what we're going to get into that. Because, I think we have good symmetry, and we're going to it's timing, and it's going to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you said something, and I said, I don't know what you can add to the end of this story. So, if there's nothing, should I say something that may start on another topic that we could go on to?
No, never jump ahead of me. Please.
Oh, okay.
Please.
Okay. What are you going to go into now?
I'm going to talk about the guy, another TikTok. I'm going to say something about everything's on TikTok. Everything's on TikTok now. The guy who caught the ball, play of the day, and then we're going to the Will You Marry Me? And the little girl says no, and then that's it. We'll wrap up the show.
Well, I think you were talking about the Will You Marry Me when you left, so that we should go that first, and then the other.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's our wrap up.
Okay.
So you have to, you do your teaser.
Yeah.
If you do a teaser and then go right into the whatever the teaser was.
You don't have the anticipation. Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
See how it works?
Yep. It's like when you watch a TV show and it's got a teaser and you try, and then it's 6 seasons on and they still haven't told you what it is. It's stuff. And
all right, here we go. It's fucking lawnmowers. I gotta make sure I have the articles pulled up. I love this guy. This guy's funny as hell. Ryan O'Flanagan.
Oh. And he's just a regular, not a comedian, he's a regular guy?
He's a comedian, but he's a horrible comedian. But his videos are funny as hell. I won't get into him, but... So Jack is back. And let's see, we're going into... Fan catches the ball. And then... This guy. And the video. Do I have the video for that? Yep, Will You Marry Me? Okay. Welcome back to DeaconLive. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and while you're... Excuse me. I hate doing that.
Have you done this before?
Once. Welcome back to DeaconLive. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and while you're... Now you got me all... I'm all...
Is this going somewhere?
This going somewhere. Welcome back to DeaconLive. Don't forget to go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Dan's giving me a hard time over there because I can't figure out what I'm saying. And make sure you show all the love and support that we have showed you. And the way you do that is go to ProphetRadio.com. I've said that twice. And all the artists, all the bands, all the music that you hear on DeaconLive, you can be found over at Prophet Radio. And get yourself some free stuff while you're there and click around and find that. And Dan, you doing okay?
I'm doing great. Everything wonderful afternoon.
Are you having a wonderful afternoon? Now, you ever watch professional baseball at all? Like gone into the stands and watch an actual full game? You know, America's pastime, which is slowly dying, I guess, as far as like the stadium.
Yeah, I enjoy watching baseball. I've seen some games, Fenway Park, and saw one at San Francisco in their stadium. It was a great time.
My neighbor, my ex neighbor, when I lived in Orlando, he was a retired airplane mechanic from the Air Force, and older gentleman. He's from Philadelphia, and he would sit there and he goes, "Oh, you know, my teams are playing today. I got a doubleheader," and he would sit there on the couch and watch from 11 o'clock, whenever the first pitch went out, till 8 o'clock at night. He would watch all day long baseball, and would just sit there on his couch and smoke. I mean, his TV room was no bigger than the studio. Now it's a modest studio. We have a good-sized studio, but to watch TV, he would sit there and smoke, drink beer, and just smoke. and he would sit there and watch baseball all day long. So it was just amazing that someone could sit there and watch, 9-10 hours of baseball.
I like baseball, not that much, but I have to say when I was a kid, we didn't have a TV. We were poor. We had food on the table. We did not have a TV, and I would listen to the radio in 1967, and Carl Yastrzemski won the Triple Crown, and I would hear, I never got to see any of the plays, and I listened as they won the pennant. They lost the World Series, but it was a fantastic year, and I listened to the entire season, just 3 or 4 hours for the game.
Now, I guess you didn't have TikTok back then.
No, we didn't even have pocket calculators back then.
So there's a video that's going out on TikTok that's getting like 6 million views, and everyone's like, oh my God, that's incredible. Now, just to let you know, the video that you're going to see here on DeaconLive, and the way you see that is go to prophetradio.com, click on DeaconLive. This is from 2016, but it's just so amazing that this happened, that someone captured the thing, and I don't know how the rules apply to the National Baseball League and how they can reproduce it. I think they put music behind it. That's the only thing. But this is the actual thing that happened that's going on TikTok right now, and you can hear all the commentary and stuff. A fan grabs a foul ball while holding his child and a pack of hot dogs. And this is from, Kevin Pillar's foul ball while holding his daughter in one arm, and so on and so forth. So here's the actual video that's happening, that's going live on TikTok all over the place. And it's impressive. Watch this.
His average velocity in this first inning. This is the 26th pitch of the inning. Down the right field line. And
going.
It's foul out of play. Oh, man. What
See
a
it?
grab with a child in his lap.
I think I heard it hit his hand. Did you hear it?
That was a real slap.
And some hot dogs in his hands.
And that wasn't a fly ball. That was a line drive.
Yeah.
On these last couple
Here we
of
go.
days.
Replay.
Oh.
That's unbelievable.
Caught it right out of the air. He's probably going, holy shit, but everyone's looking at me. Charlie putting the ball down. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's amazing. His little daughter didn't even wake up, and she's probably how old? What do you think in that picture? Probably 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, I would say about 4 years old.
There she is. There she is. Now, imagine being 4 or 5 years old and actually confessing. First of all, you have to understand what love is, and if you're 4 or 5 years old, thank God, kids today. They come from split households. They come from, parents, mom and dad that, they divorced before they were, the kids were born or just after they were born and so on and so forth. This kid right here had the right idea in mind and asked his one true love to marry him. Now, he's probably 4 or 5 years old, and she's probably just the same age. And this was all captured on a Nest camera and shared on TikTok. So I'm going to turn this up as loud as I can because I think this is really soft. So let me see. So he comes up on this big old white picket porch, kneels down and says, will you marry me? No. She says no. She said, geez, you're mean. I don't want to. So he throws this handmade heart down. His name's Woods. Storms off the porch. Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. I got more on this, so hold on one second.
That is precious.
Give me 1 second while I find this.
I'm not getting any younger.
Weird. Picking it up. The legacy of that shield is...
The young guy, it took... All right, Kira.
So for more on this story, we'll go to this article right here.
All right, Kira, thank you very much. Now it's time for our Worth the Watch. We found this video on Instagram. A young boy, Betsy, gets up the nerve to profess his love to his young girlfriend, only to have his heart broken. Watch.
Will you marry me? No. Hey, you're me. I don't want children.
Woods, come back! He slammed the heart on the
Watch
ground.
this.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. If that doesn't make your day, then your day can't be made. The young guy, you know, it took up so much of his courage to make that heart and to drop down on a knee.
He was on a knee.
Yeah, and Betsy, is certain in her decision because she didn't even hesitate. I mean, he no sooner gets the words out of his mouth, will you marry me? No.
It was out of the gate. No, not even like, well, you know, there's some complications.
So there you go.
that we're really
I mean, it's a heartwarming story, you know, but that's the way little kids are. So poor kid, huh? Now he's going to be scalded for life. He's going to turn gay, right? He's probably going to turn gay now.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
But maybe he's going to turn around in a couple weeks from later on and say, gee, I am so thankful she said no.
Yeah, because he finds out that, you know, she ends up doing drugs later on in a preschool yard or something.
You just never know.
You never know. On that note, I'm going to like to thank each and every one of you for joining us here on Deacon Live. Thank all of our sponsors. Make sure you show some love and support for all the bands that you hear here on Deacon Live. I'd like to thank Dan for joining us this week, and we'll hopefully see you next week.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a pleasure today.
I'd like to thank each and every one of you for downloading us and doing the stuff that links us to you and you to us. My name is the Deacon saying goodnight and good night.
Wait, come back.
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
Turn the video. Turn the mic back on.
Can I put my headphones on?
Yep. As it feeds back.
It's kind of weird how they flip.
Don't worry about it. Just say, see you later. See you later.
See you later. Have a nice night.
Look at the camera. What cameras are you on?
Have a nice night.
All right.